Hi everyone, how are you today? I just want to send you a weekly message and check in with you about a lot of stuff. You're wrapping up the Research Methods in Human Sexuality week, and hopefully you've had some time to kind of check out everything that I have on here and looked at the Tuskegee study because, again, I'm pretty sure I said this last week, but it's a pretty heinous example of research on humans that was unacceptable. So we're going to move in to next week's topics, and what you got is female sexual anatomy and physiology. And so this is kind of the science-heavy portion of the class. I don't do a lot of this because I'm a sociologist, but I think we all need to know about what our bodies are capable of and what we do. So this chapter and then the following chapter are about anatomy and physiology. We're starting with female-bodied sexual anatomy and physiology, and then next week we'll do male-bodied, which of course isn't inclusive of every possible body that there is, right? And so we'll talk about that a little later on in the semester because there are people, about 1% of the population, that are born with different chromosomal makeups, and those are people that we would identify in the science world as intersexed. And so I will have a documentary for you to watch on that, and that's biologically different. And then, of course, we have people who are born in a certain body but identify something else and do some changes later in life. So those are different things, but for right now we're sticking with these kind of two categories. But what I'll say is that's not the end all be all, okay? So just bear that in mind. And if you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about, that's okay, just hang in there. So you're going to do some kind of thick reading on female sexual anatomy and physiology, and then you're going to watch something sort of humorous, okay? I'm going to have you watch this film, The Vagina Monologues. And so if any of you have heard of it, then you probably know what it is. It's a series of kind of performance art that was written by Eve Ensler, who is a feminist educator, activist, pretty neat lady. She did 1 Million Rising a couple years ago, or maybe billion. I feel like it's billion at this point, in response to the amount of women worldwide who have identified as being sexually assaulted at least once in their life. And I know, and most of you know, that it happens more often than not, culturally speaking, here and in other places, and that's highly problematic. There's been a lot of cultural shifts in terms of calling it out and speaking truth to power on it, but unfortunately there still is more of it than ought to be, because really none of it, nobody deserves to be harassed based on anything really, but certainly sexual harassment, sexual assault, and rape, all of those things are things that happen, and when you really think about it, it's like that seems just pretty dang unacceptable. So she talks about the stuff through somewhat of a comedic lens in some ways, but then some of it is actually powerful and moving. So it might be upsetting. I would recommend that you watch it. I mean, you have to watch it. It's required. But if it upsets you at any point, feel free to take a break. Feel free to revisit it. Whatever works for you, okay? But I'll look forward to hearing what you have to say about it on the discussion posts. And thank you for your openness as I'm reading through the sex histories. It seems like so many of you are here because you really want to explore this topic. And that it matters to you. So I appreciate that in so many ways. And I'll always keep you informed of events that are taking place that kind of are along the lines of this topic, if that becomes something that you're interested in learning more about. So have a really nice day. It's gorgeous out. I'm spending my day working, but it's still gorgeous out, and I can do it on my couch in my yoga clothes, so it's not so bad. So anyways, take good care, and just keep thinking these thoughts and talking about them. All right? Take care.